Dear brothers, what's up, boys? Happy Tuesday. Quick hitting thoughts from coming back from our little trip to Atlantis in the Bahamas. So yesterday I was telling you guys a little bit about the fact that just being a fit dad at the pool is absolutely elite. And that is still the case. But I wanted to give you just 3 quick tips on how to maintain your diet somewhat when you go on vacation. So obviously when you guys hit vacation, the last thing you tend to think about is your diet. Most of the time we all make the comment, I'll get back to it when I get back, but I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to drink it up, have a bunch of booze, be by the pool, have as much food as my body can consume. It's almost like we loathe ourselves and want to feel hungover and stuffed to the brim. I get that. I've done it, been there. It was great. But in all fairness, that was a phase of life, and I am a firm believer that we all just need to phase out of certain parts of that. But I'm also not going to say that you shouldn't have fun and not enjoy your vacation and have some delicious food and have some beers and enjoy some delicious whiskey and all of that. Mai Tai or 2, pina colada, if you will. So even though that may be the case, I think it is still worthwhile that we have a couple of tricks up our sleeve that will actually make it so that we don't go fully overboard and just lose everything that we've gained over X amount of time. It's amazing when I have people weigh in and weigh out when they finish vacation. They go in feeling lean and they come back and they're, 8 to 12 pounds heavier after a week. And a lot of that can be water weight and what have you, but that's still a lot of weight in a very short period of time for really no reason. So we really don't need to put ourselves that far behind the 8 ball on vacation. So let's get to this quickly. Number 1, most of the time when we're on vacation, just like we were in the Bahamas, you're getting burgers, you're getting sandwiches, especially at lunchtime. Like you're getting all of those things. At night, you tend to get these big meals and you're getting a bunch of appetizers and what have you. But one of the easiest ways to help yourself feel a little more full and not go crazy overboard is instead of opting for bread as an appetizer by itself, which dipping in oil and what have you, which again, delicious, don't get it twisted, or getting French fries or specifically French fries as your side if you're getting a burger. Just order a side salad of some kind. Or this weekend when we went in there, I got a burger and a side of like these roasted local vegetables that were delicious. It's crazy for me to say that I would choose vegetables over fries, but it ends up being where if I crush a bunch of fries before I hit my burger, I'm just more hungry and I just want to eat more. So I end up spending more money, which is obviously not a great option on vacation, but I'm also eating a bunch more just by swapping fries for a quick salad, even a Caesar salad of some kind. That literally drops what I would consume by a lot. I'm just more full because I ate that first, or getting a bunch of veggies first. It seems silly, and I know you're looking at me sideways or listening to me sideways anyways. I promise you it's one of the best things you can do. So quick and fast thing. When you order the burger and it says, would you like fries with that? Just be like, hey, can I just have a side salad? Or can I have a side of roasted vegetables or what have you? It seems silly. I promise you it's an easy way to save some calories for things like, delicious beers. But it's also a way you're just not going to overstuff yourself when you're eating. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2. On this trip, before we went, I went to Costco, bought the giant thing of Kirkland protein bars, and we had them every day. So I highly recommend either buy, for every day that you're there, I say that you should have 1 to 2 protein bars. At least 1, I had 2. Have 2 protein bars available to you. So if you wake up and you're like, we don't really have to go out and crush breakfast, I'm just going to have a protein bar. Great. Before you go out, if you know that you're going to have a huge meal or you're going to be drinking, across an afternoon, have a protein bar or 2 before you go do that. A, it helps with the effect of alcohol, and B, it's also going to fill you up, and you're also going to be getting protein in, which you're lacking typically on vacation because we just tend to eat a lot less of it. Having a box of protein bars every time you vacation is an absolutely elite move, and I promise you it is very beneficial. Last but not least, drinking. I'm never going to tell you that you shouldn't have your fair share of drinks on vacation. Should you get sloshed? Probably not. Should drinking be something that we quit altogether? there could be an argument made. I'm not quite there yet. But time of day does play a role in alcohol consumption. So one of the things that I do tell people, and my wife and I talk about this a lot, day drinking is so much better than drinking far into the night for a host of reasons. But the specific one I'm going to use, you're far less likely to A, be hungover if you were drinking earlier in the day, maybe stopped later in the evening, and you've eaten and all those things. Versus if you drink super late at night, you tend to drink a lot more. It then screws with your sleep even more. You're more likely to be hungover the next day, and those effects just kind of trickle down the road. I'm not saying that you should have 30 beers, starting at 8 a.m. and finishing at 3 p.m. But what I am saying is if you know that you're going to have some drinks across a few days, try to have the larger share of them earlier in the day rather than later in the day. Again, if you cut it out altogether, that's great. I can promise you the pina coladas that have no liquor in them still taste the exact same. But for people that still want to have drinks, which I get, we did over the last few days that we were in the Bahamas, I just recommend do it more in the morning. As nighttime comes around, cut back, certainly. And as a simple thing, every time you have a drink, have a water or a Diet Coke after, or a seltzer water or something. Just cut in between each of your drinks. It's going to lessen the effect of the alcohol, and that's going to only benefit you. Trust me, being hungover isn't fun. That used to be something that we loved to do. Eventually you have to grow up. Being hungover isn't the coolest thing in the world. It's great to have beers, enjoy them. I loved the Sands Lights and the Sands beers and the Calic beers that they had down there. Pretty good overall. But there's no reason to go crazy. So again, third little point, drink earlier in the day versus a bunch later in the day. It's going to help you sleep a little bit better. You won't have the crazy hangover the next day, which means maybe you can go to the gym instead of being lazy. Those are very quick, very simple things, but honest to goodness, those would make a huge difference. My wife and I both admitted after this trip that we just felt a lot better because we did those things. And we didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I need a vacation from my vacation. We just felt pretty good overall and didn't gain a metric ton of weight across a few days. So don't trash your diet because you've decided that you want to go crazy over vacation. You can still have fun. You can still eat out. You can still have your stuff. You can still have your drinks and your pina coladas and your Mai Tais and all this stuff. But it doesn't mean that it has to ruin you for the next week after that. Be smart. Make decent decisions. Swap the fries for a salad or some veggies. That's a simple one. Make sure you have a bunch of protein bars in your room and with you all the time. And focus maybe a little more on day drinking versus late drinking. Again, you can't day drink unless you start before 10 a.m. or something like that. That's it, boys. God bless. Be strong. I love you all. And we're back in the office now, baby. Hey, by the way, merchandise online. It's on the link in the description. Click it, buy it, send it to friends. It supports the show. And it actually is pretty dope stuff. The shorts are off the chain. So I appreciate you guys and all your love and support. Let's get after it today. See you, boys.